When you look to the left, as far as you see black dots in water. To the right, black. Thousands. It is a lifestyle that has impacted so many people. And then I just get on the plane and I just come back home. And I just walk down the road. Walk down the road with my surfboard. You get drowned.
Welcome to Just a Conversation, the podcast where we talk about the topics that matter to you. I'm Michael Alcock, joined today by
Fabian Belgrade.
And today we are stepping outside the mainstream to talk about sports you might not always see in the spotlight. Martial arts, skateboarding, surfing, and more. These athletes are grinding just as hard, facing unique challenges and earning respect here and abroad. We're joined by Kelly Payne, Adrian Bowen, and Andre Gittens, three voices shaping the future of sport in Barbados in bold new ways. All right, so as we've said, today we're going to be talking about alternative sports. I guess we could try to define that. Before we do that, what sports you into?
Sports, I'm huge into martial arts. My kids skate and I love the ocean, but that one didn't work out for me. That one didn't work out. But yeah, man, Barbados has a huge community of alternative sports, and esports now is becoming a thing. People are getting money, and the latest in that race is drone racing.
Right.
I hope Barbados can embrace drone racing, because it seems like a real opportunity for young and upcoming people in Barbados to just make money.
A real career opportunity. Well, me myself personally, like you say, I tried the ocean thing. I can't stand up on a surfboard. I love to see it, but I can't get myself to stand up. I'm a little talented at skateboarding, I would say, just a little.
Oh, you're being modest, bro.
I never do martial arts, but I like to think of myself. Oh, sorry, I box. Is boxing considered martial arts? No. She wouldn't consider it.
No,
it's not. Different sport.
I can draw hands though, so anyhow,
draw hands.
Yes. So we joined today by panel. I would say that is very talented all around in all areas. Just before we started recording this bit, we was talking about basketball, all kind of things. So we know about sports. So let us start it off around the table. Let us start with the lady.
Ladies first.
Yes, ladies first. Tell us a bit about yourself, the sport you're into, your background.
Hi. Good morning to everyone. My name is Kelly Payne. I am a martial artist. I am also third degree black belt. I've been doing karate for over 25 years, or a little longer. Don't want to tell them my age. I'm doing it from in third form at school. Right. So it's been a while.
Okay.
So what's your claim to fame in martial art?
My claim to fame? Besides being a great coach, let's see. I've done several overseas tours. I did CSC, some regional stuff, been several places, El Salvador, Colombia. So I've represented Barbados several times.
What for us who are uninitiated, what is a third degree black belt? What does that really mean?
Really mean that? What does it really mean?
To be careful.
Yeah, that's what it really means.
Right.
But I don't really announce it or say what it is. But
Okay.
But get at my craft,
All
I
right.
can say.
All right. Ocean Daddy. Okay, tell me a bit about you and your chosen.
Well, we're going to say the ocean chose me. I was addicted to water for as long as I can remember. I started surfing around 8, 9 years old. I had a brother who was 5 years older than me, so he charted my path. Whatever he got into, I got into. So when he went to Queen's College, he started surfing around second, third form. Me being around 8, 9 at the time. Obviously, I was the excuse for him to get out the house too. So I started going to the beach and surfing. Got really invested in it. You know what I mean? Had a little skateboarding going on too, but just addicted to the sport. Obviously, coming in a little late, and the cliche of coming from we're not really into the ocean. You know what I mean? We don't come up swimming and surfing generally. We more into the football, the cricket, the sports where it's easy for our parents to supervise. Because a lot of our parents can't even swim.
True. So that fear.
Yeah, that fear the ocean instilled in us from we know history. So it was hard for me to get into and gain the trust from the parents and things. So obviously I didn't have that parental support. But as I got older and saved money, got my own board, got into it, I was down, like fully surfing, try out for the national team, made the cut. Just been deeply involved in surfing throughout my life. And then luckily for me, I got the opportunity to give back. So I then got into coaching and working with the Barbados Surfing Association and the ISA judging and things. So my whole life was surrounded by surfing, and you can see that in my son.
Yeah, I was about to say, your son named Osha. So.
Yeah, I threw him in the water from early because I wanted to give him the opportunity my parents didn't give me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he right now he blossomed. He's like number 64 in North America. He's only 20 years old.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
And,
awesome.
Yeah, we trying to push the envelope as hard as we could. But I guess I'm glad for these kind of platforms because we need people to understand the alternative sports and the support we need for these to transition into mainstream and to create more opportunities because the world is so different. He was just talking about drone racing. Like, you would never believe what makes money now compared to 30 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just this platform alone is...
And that's a big reason we got you guys together for this conversation because, you know, a lot of the times people don't... What you just said, Ocean is number...
He's 64 in the whole of North America. So we come in from I think El Salvador's border, right? So I think it's somewhere around Nicaragua up to Canada. And the whole Caribbean basin.
Right, and there's a lot of people locally that will have no idea. Right? I have no idea, but that's the thing I find about a lot of these sports people considered niche is that the people who participate push real hard and is end up on the international scene. Adrian, tell us a bit about where you guys are right now, the Skateboard Association and stuff.
Well, yes, just to introduce, so I played never great at any sport in my opinion, right? I don't have that legacy of greatness, but I grew up playing basketball competitively and fortunate to play basketball at the different levels here in Barbados. Went to college, played in college, came back and just had a different desire for sports, a different energy around sports that I don't think I was getting from the basketball at that time. So then I was fortunate with this young man here who's a little bit more than a little good, as he puts it. But getting introduced again, I started to rollerblade when I was like 12 or 13 or so. So rollerblading a lot. So when I came back, I was like, well, I can go rollerblade. My cousin was like, you can go skateboard. So we hit the street like that. And at that time, we were already, adults. And I think that was a good thing at the time because we had the autonomy. We could get in our car and drive around and find spots. So we really got to get into skating for what it is. And people don't understand that it's really a lifestyle sport. It is a sport that, you have the competitive avenues, you have the creative avenues, and then you just have fun, strictly. And to me, that was a wide gambit of what I needed. 'Cause I needed a little bit of each piece. I needed definitely, as an adult, have an avenue to de-stress and to unwind and to stay healthy and to stay fit mentally as well as physically. But then I also liked the challenge of skating, the competitiveness of skating. And at that point when I started, I realized that coming from a sports background, this thing is incredible. Like, why aren't more people doing this? Like, this is awesome. Amen. But then you have a lot of elements like, facilities, access to products. As Dre mentioned, fear is a big part because, the first thing you hear is about, you're going to fall down and you're going to break something, you ain't scared that you break. Parents say you fall down and carry it to the hospital because they already have in their mind that's the end of this. This will only lead to you getting broken up, back up. you know. But the reality is that all sports have an inherent risk to them, and you play the sport within your skill level. So as you get better, your confidence grows, then you go forward. It's wise to have people who know, you know, the ocean. I always say, like, the seeing out, everybody know the seeing out the back door.
Which is not true. Because if you go far enough, that way you can get
See, that's a different perspective on the matter, right? He's like, you can get something out. So it is kind of like that, where you can say, okay, going from this fear-based mentality to realizing that through facing your fears, you can achieve things. And you start to look at things from a different perspective and just saying, oh, well, that's stairs. If I jump down there, this could happen. But if you realize, well, if I work on something, I can do this. And then I could do about 20 other things if I get confident going down the stairs. Right. So it really is a paradigm shift. And I found that for me, as an adult, it was healthy. Because I started to look at my entire life, my entire world differently. So moving from being very passionate about basketball to then moving into being very passionate about skateboarding, and being around a group of passionate people. I think that's very important in these sports as well, because sometimes all you have is your community. Because other people ain't checking for you, you know, they may know what's going on, they're not interested per se, and even if they see it, they're not necessarily willing to give you support off the bat. You gotta prove yourself first. You gotta go and do a
community can tell
something.
you was a boxer kit fit versus you know what I mean, a tray flip.
You know what I mean? And if they clean, not if you got it, but you know that can meet the grade. If not, work on that a little sketchy, right? But you need that iron sharpen iron. You need that environment to push yourself. And we were around good communities, good people, and we started to do our own thing. In terms of starting competitions, we used to call it the coalition of the willing.
Yeah.
Right? You don't always have to have formal structure, even though that was important down the line. But when you start with sports, you got the coalition of the willing, you can make things happen. So with that coalition, we started to formalize and centralize and all the other I's in there. And we started to find some progression. So today it's in a better space, of course. You know, more things are going on. But the core of it is a way to have fun, a way to enjoy yourself, and then that creativity. When those gears start to fire, there's no turning them off. So
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Right.
But let me ask you this question, right? Because every single one of these sports has a very important element. And for me, during COVID, a lot of sports and a lot of athletes weren't able to go outside and do certain things. But all of these sports are individual sports and team sports. So what was it like for you guys during COVID? I mean, you probably snuck out and went to the beach every morning.
Oh yeah, well, luckily for us, Wendy, I think we had a
Statute
it was a
of
6 to, it was a
limitations
6 to 9, 4 to 6.
Correct.
Boy, that was the best thing ever.
All right, then.
Because we then were able to gain 2 sessions with a nice break in between, and that was the best thing. Plus with the ocean too, with the COVID, with the salt water and thing, there wasn't really that risk. You're not really that close. The proximity is not really an issue. So during obviously lockdown, there was nothing happening. But then outside of that, the surfing was probably I think we were one of the first to actually start back competing, because of the sailing, the salt water, and the low risk of transferring. The only thing we had was the singlets, the rash guards. It was a little concern about transferring the rash guards and stuff, but I think we were one of the first to start by getting back on the competitive scene. And because as you said, the individual sport and proximity wasn't a big issue.
Right.
But COVID was a challenge for everybody, as you know,
No,
for
it
all
wasn't.
sports.
No, it was not.
No, it wasn't.
COVID was so good for individuals, athletes who wanted to focus on their training. We had a school. True. You had the curtilage of your property, and then that extended into your gap.
Man, don't forget that word.
Into your gap, training and running.
Yeah.
Martial arts was online.
Martial arts would have been good.
Yes,
Skateboarding would have been good.
Exactly.
But surfing, obviously, we got to get to
You gotta get there.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was, and the few of us who live, we had proximity on our side. We live like on the beach. That was good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For
And-
privilege.
So talking about community, Kelly, how does your community function outside of COVID, outside the curtilage of your own home? How does your community function? I see here that you also do youth development and mental health work. Like, is there any intersection?
Yeah, you could be. I have a lot of kids with. I have some physically challenged kids and mental health challenged kids. So yes, where I'm able to connect the two together, where I able to break down some steps. We have kids that are, as I said, physically challenged. So you have to break down things in more simpler form. As Fabian would tell you, we have we incorporate all. We don't want to separate them.
Yes, you get it.
Right, and we don't use the word challenged either. So we warm up everybody together, and we keep right. So I will go face to face with some kids that have challenges and break it down to them, but I never split them up. So I keep them all together. You know what I mean? We don't want to separate and break up, make people aware that someone is different.
Right.
Yeah.
I never want to do that.
Right.
But interestingly, with Kelly, her job as a mental health specialist, there are a lot of kids that she brought in with a lot of issues, and then you see them flourish in martial arts because there's a avenue for them to. You know what I'm talking about. So tell me about it.
Because so from our last tournament that we did last year, right? We did it last year. The kids that we quote unquote have challenges excel really well beyond everyone's expectations, right? And medaled, and it was a beautiful thing. Yes. Now everyone is seeing like, oh, I can have these kids in here, and they can work together and expect great things from them as well. Not only from quote unquote what we call normal, right? No, everyone can excel at this at any sport.
Right. So you would say that the kids they rub off on each other.
Yes, of course.
So say you got a kid that's advanced, how easy is it to get them to transfer the skill? I don't know if we're talking your right.
You're right.
Yeah.
No. Go ahead. No, sorry.
Okay, the kids that I have that are advanced, my brown belts, yellow belts, a couple of green ones, I spoke to them. I say, yes, we have kids that are quote unquote different here, but this is what we're going to do. And I had a session separate with my advanced group, and they're able to. I said, slow it down. Take it easy, don't be rushing it through. You have to be a little bit slower in how you're teaching it. Right. Give more demonstrations. Right. So they were able to adjust, and everybody, they all fall in line. They fall in line.
Sweet. So this question going out to everybody. Do y'all think that these sports are still looked at as hobbies? Little thing to kill the time? Or people starting to see these things? Yeah, I don't. Let me say it in two parts: locally and internationally. How would you say these sports are viewed?
Boy, I always say I wish that the average Bajan could go and spend time in California and see the impact of skateboarding and surfing. I mean, first of all, a skateboard in California is a legitimate means of transportation. You see kids with a book bag going to school. I mean, you just come out. I stay right by the Vans. You know where the Vans skate park is. I live on the same block as that in Huntington Beach. And these kids, I mean, I'd be appalled at this. I wish these people could see this thing. The kids will come out and find a bench, and that'll be a session for like an hour. I mean, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, the men would these kids be set, and it's such a big community. And then you see older people, 40s, 50s, 60s. I mean, old men, and there's skateboarders be their transportation. Like that's how the men get to work, working at the post office, Amazon workers. Kicking going down the road, and it's like
they can't turn it
don't
off.
Understand the scale of these things. Then when you go to an average pier in California, you stand on this pier. Obviously, the water is cold, so the guys surf in wetsuits. When you look to the left, as far as you see black dots in water. To the right, thousands. It is a lifestyle that has impacted so many people. And then I just catch on the plane and I just come back home. And I walk down the road. Walk down the road with my surfboard. We get drowned. You know what I mean? Like we be so stuck in that it is something for only people who can afford it, which, you know what I mean, certain sports have been put in a high class, and then it's something where you're going to hurt yourself, or you're going, I mean, injuries will happen, but
in any sport.
Any sport, it's just the mentality that it hurts me to see. From the time you get off the plane in LA and you're going, people will be skating through LAX with the luggage. I mean, the sweetest thing you could see is a man going through an airport, just sliding with his skateboard. And the man is just like, so calm. He got his earphones, he carry on, and he got his skateboard, and he's like, wow, bro.
Yes, please.
I idolize you right now. You look so cool. The man just be sliding.
But let me ask you a question, Jay. Do you think that because of the ethos of surfing, right? I mean, yes, one, it's expensive, but like you said, you had your brother to follow and to lead, and I think that is a major thing.
Yes,
certain kids don't have that person. You understand? Like for me in martial arts, every Saturday morning, well, this is while living overseas, every Saturday morning, you watching Kung Fu's, you watching cartoons. And that, for me, was the initial genesis for martial arts, because we ain't had no internet back then. We ain't had nothing, so you had to go find a book. That's where I started. I started at the library with books on martial arts and learning how to punch. And then I found people, and I was like, this is it now. And lucky for me, they all looked like me. They all lived in communities like me. So it was easy for me to follow. But even in that, they had people then who didn't understand the love for certain sports. And they lashed out at us for doing these things, because apparently we were different.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So is that something that happens in Barbados? Because
sure,
you don't have a person.
You don't have a person. So surfing is a localized sport, meaning if you go around a wave that is of quality or is surfable, you will generally find surfers, a surfing community. So Bathsheba is probably the biggest surf community in Barbados. Then they got, well, Brandon's is more a drill hall. It's more the South Coast. People more don't live there, but they come to it. So you will find places like Drill Hall, South Point, Silver Sands, Long Beach, those general areas.
I surf
so
all
people
those
who
spots.
live, so it's localized to the point where generally people who get involved in surfing live in a surf-rich community. So then, like, the people in that general area, that community would be generational. Like, you got Mark Holder, you got Hoggy, you got
Correct.
All the men, the old duper. I mean, all the older heads who got into the sport, and then it transitioned down. The Oliver is a surf family. The Holder is a surf family. The Smalls, so they got surf families in Bathsheba, and it's generational.
Right.
And then they got the guys who got into it, like the Alan Burks and the Stuart Stouts and the guys who are really good surfers, who more from the south side, and obviously the generational thing. But as you said, unless you have that person in your family, or if you live in that community,
it's foreign.
These sports that we're talking about here are more community based in terms of you become a product of what you saw, unless there's the one-off or the few people like yourself that were drawn to it and made the effort to get into it. But generally, surfing is restricted to generational, as in the people who got into it usually transfer down to the kids and to the community where it's wave rich.
But no, here you call all those names. I remember when we interviewed you and your son at Bathsheba. and you saw all these little men coming up the
Right,
hills
so
with
those
surfboards.
correct. And all them is smalls, holders, because that's what we have going on. Now, me and my friend Kevin Nichols, he's a lifeguard from over there. We started East Coast Boardriders Club. So what we trying to do is first and foremost we targeting the parents, because the parents can't swim.
Yeah.
So if the parents can't swim,
Then trying to get
hell
in the
or
water.
high water, them trying to get out. You know what I mean?
Especially
So,
basketball.
especially that water that look like a monster. So we try to target the parents, build their trust. So it gets to a stage where they trust us with their kids. But obviously these kids come around from the community and they're generational in the surf. So it's not that hard, but we want to widen it, because the thing that happens within any sport, the more people involved, the more numbers, the more chances of us getting a world champ. And because numbers is everything. With everything.
You gotta cultivate.
Numbers is everything. Whether it's a business, whether it's whatever it is, numbers is what's create champions. It's create. So we need to get more people involved, open more eyes, bring more eyes, more ears, more hands, more everything into the sport.
More money.
Oh Lord, you hit me.
Right. So
Amen.
I want to touch on this. I want to touch on this
I
though,
think,
because this is what we're trying to get to. We're trying to get to.
like you're saying about, people recognizing the potentials of the sports here, and even to the earlier question of if they still see it as like just a poopa, hobby thing. And hobbies are healthy, hobbies are good, right? So I don't want to downplay hobbies, but to put it into stark context, like right now, a skateboard is classified still as a toy.
Toy.
So if you try to import, it's not a sporting good that is duty exempt or whatever. It is a toy, and this is something that people make their livelihood off of. Everybody can go and play Tony Hawk, pro skate at home, release, versions, and it's like Tony Hawk ain't riding a toy. Tony Hawk goes to work.
Yes.
Right? Tony Hawk as a skate park, people can come and learn their profession and be more professional, right?
Correct.
So the scope really of it is, the sport has a high upside. But like any sport, is a pathway to that, and it's a brutal one. Nothing is easy or in a shortcuts or anything like that. So any sport, you have to work really hard. But to understand that is what this is now. This is a sport. This is a avenue for livelihood, for careers, for professionality, in all kind of different arenas. Not even just the main sport itself, but skateboarding is told through videography, through photography. People have to build ramps, so you're going to carpentry and working with cement and different things of these nature. So even if you want to go into building skateboards or making surfboards, so there's skill sets that people can develop to create and find ways and to support the industry and to create an industry, right? But one of the key things Andre was mentioning on it there is you need early exposure.
Yeah, very
right. I think karate, surfing have longer track records than surf and skateboarding. They have better track records as well.
Maybe better, but not
I never
longer.
see them in the paper about vandalizing the body property or nothing like that. Like how skateboarding had to go through with the F spot. But but the reality is that early exposure is important. And for younger generations to be able to see the sport at a young age, and that is something that we need assistance with that. That is not something that no one organization can do or no one club can do, because you're talking about a nationwide reform or nationwide educational system. So when we first got the aquatic center, right? How it was then, everybody don't want to see the aquatic center and learn to swim, right? Schools started to put programs where, hey, we will come and pick you up on a day and take you to the pool and you can learn. And for a lot of people, that was their exposure to swimming in a safe environment and to a pool, because unless you know somebody or you got somebody, nobody ain't going in a pool like that. So it was exposure. And now look at the aquatic center. Like they have surf meets, they have championships, they produce top athletes, and swimming is a hard sport. Kids in the pool at 4:00 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning before going to school, and then returning after. So
it is,
again, the pathway is a rough one, but it's there because of early exposure.
correct.
So right now we are graced that we have a skate park, Gittens skate park.
We got Leah Martindale in swimming. She went to St. Michael's with me.
Yeah.
She did the finals of the Olympics and I
Yes,
think the
yeah.
50-meter free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have in surfing, we got Chelsea Twat, who made the world championship tour. And I mean, that's only 20 women in the world,
Yeah,
or less.
producing.
So,
You got Ocean Gittens, like 64.
what I'm trying to say, like, we can see
Right.
the benefits of having these. And I'm sure that the skate spot at, what was it called?
Kite
Kite.
skate park, yeah.
That would is only a matter of time before that's going to
It is only
produce.
a matter of time.
Listen,
but
somebody-
with the
Correct
help
exposure.
of early exposure.
Early,
but,
but
but
yeah,
before
kids in
Kite
there.
Tiff, right? And the one that was taken down.
F spot.
F spot.
Yeah, the F spot.
Rest in peace.
Skaters used to be skating on the leg, RC track right next by the basketball court. Everybody used to be out there skating. We used to skate down. Man. But I say all that to say this: having a dedicated space that you know, like, man, like, as soon as school done, we going up by the gym. We going skating at the skate park.
As
'Cause
it should be.
my son is like, Daddy, I want to take to school my skateboard. No.
Yeah.
Daddy, after school I want to go to skate park. No, you have to do your homework. And he is just pounding.
right.
And I'm like, all right, just catch the bus and I'll pick you up later.
Correct,
Good.
correct.
You know what I mean? But your grades gotta be a certain way. All right, Daddy, don't worry about that.
Like
You know?
Plus,
Nah.
And unfortunately, the skate park is open until 9 p.m. So after homework is done.
in Barbados too, we need to understand spending so much time in California. But my son's based there basically. Spent like 6 months there a year. When you go down on a beach, Hermosa, Manhattan, wherever beach you go to on a morning. Well, first of all, the person we stay with, they surf too. But once you surf in high school, you go on the surf team. Surfing is part of your curriculum.
Hold on. You said surfing
Ding,
on the
ding,
surf
ding.
team?
So from every morning, they gotta get to the beach for 6:30 to 8 o'clock, and there's a coach.
Oh yeah, I did
doing
meet.
everything. You surf from 6:30 to 8. That's your class. You getting graded. You get a mark.
wonderful.
And you get time at 8. So school starts at 8, but because you're part of the surf team, you get time to go home and change and get on your e-bike and ride school. So you get to school for 8:39 because you was part of the surf team. When you go down on any given beach, 9 o'clock, this thing
That's
just so
what you mean.
amazing. You would see 4 or 5 different tanks sponsored, Volcom, Rip Curl, whatever, that sponsored this particular school. 9 o'clock, you can see 200 4 to 5-year-olds come down, get pushed into waves thing. 10 o'clock, you can see 200 to 300 6 to 7-year-olds come down. It is part of the curriculum. And these kids get exposed. They're not telling them this is a fun. This is not saying that it isn't fun, but this is an avenue for you
Yeah.
to support your family. It is a legitimate way for you to have a career with great benefits, not just standard. You think Niger? You ever seen Niger House? Like the videos in
Yo.
Niger House? This man driving.
Get to see the world. You get to
Yeah.
travel.
Yeah.
See what
Like,
what
it's
is what's
amazing.
special about sports like skating and and surfing. I'm not sure the dynamic for karate, like how they attract sponsorship or what, but for it is different to how team sports are structured.
The lifestyle.
It is different
The
to how
lifestyle
it's a
element.
lifestyle sport, right?
The lifestyle
So
element.
it is not strictly ranked around competitions and stuff like that. You can carve your own niche. I think that's what is the greatest resource the sports offers to anybody who wants to be a professional. Because you can be a professional kind of your own way. And the way how we have technology evolving now, how the sports are communicated across the world, we want to see the videos. We can't all get to
Streaming,
Hermosa, so
correct.
we can watch the
Yeah.
stream to see the
Stream,
competition.
live
We can't
streaming.
all get to SLS, so we can watch the street leagues.
Street leagues.
You know, as they're streaming on YouTube or whatever app, you might gotta go and subscribe to the app to watch it. But you're gonna subscribe because you wanna watch that contest live, right? Same way, you have as the athlete, you're producing the content. You are the product. I don't like the term walking billboard. That sounds so
Yeah.
perverse.
It's true.
But
Capitalist.
you just sell up yourself. But the truth is that is a real dynamic. So as an individual, you put the right team, the right metric, the right amount of work, because it's still gotta work hard, to stand out. But there's avenues there that we don't even have to say you have to be assigned to this, you have to be in this particular. Yes, the more you travel is
more
important.
Exposure,
More facilities, more, more community to push you. So there are benefits to that. But the reality is that you can carve it out and you can find ways to.
So another question for the table then. But first, Kelly, I want you to tell me, you think your sport is taken seriously, locally, regionally? Think people give it prestige?
Unfortunately, no. I don't think it is. Yes, we get one or two.
I feel like I feel like I see martial artists in the paper regular, getting medals, getting this place, on the podium, that kind of thing.
Well, that's a few individuals, but we want to I've asked for sponsorship for a whole team to go. As you saw, you see one or two up to 5 people. Yeah. But we want teams to go. Right. So I need more more people involved in it. Like how they carry a whole football team. But it's not right. So we want more of it. You know what I mean? So not just one or two individuals.
Right. but Adrian made the point about sponsorship.
Right.
How does that go for martial arts?
Well,
it doesn't.
It's not going. It's not. We have one or two sponsors, but of course, like any other sport, we need more. We need more exposure.
Yeah.
We are pushing hard to get more sponsors in. We're getting some good news of people backing it, but as I said, we have to promote ourselves.
Yes.
Since COVID, our team has been, as Fabian can say, our team has been getting bigger. We have over 35 kids now. Right, so we're pushing, we want more. We're trying to get videos out there, putting back up our platforms as well.
He's a videographer.
Yeah, I know.
in terms of the market, or the actual market for martial arts, because that's the problem surfing faces, and it's definitely problems skating is going to face, because I deal personally with sponsors, obviously trying to get my son sponsored or whatever, and they always come down to numbers. Same thing we're talking. So they say, okay, Barbados is it's tropical.
Yes.
So we don't have wetsuits. We don't need wetsuits and things. Wetsuits are big. One wetsuit could be $500 US, and a guy will go and change the wetsuit probably every year or two. You know what I mean? And then there are different grades of wetsuits. So where you surf, you use a 3.2 or 4.3 or 5.4 hoodie, booty, depending on where up and down the coast of California you go.
Right.
Barbados is warm. So all you need is the shorts, slippers, obviously boards, but slippers, and then I would say our community of surfers is, I can go overboard and say 300.
Okay.
So 300 shorts, you're buying a shorts for 10, 20 US. What impact? They would always ask, what impact does Barbados have on the market? Can we say y'all are 1%?
No, not even.
That's what I'm trying to say. So that is where the difficulty in sponsorship comes from, especially with the mainstream sponsors. So then we gotta look home. Home now is the same problem we were talking about before, right? Boy say, well, that's a toy. You got a skateboard, the toy is going to Larry Dash and buy them. So the guys down here and taking you seriously with your sport, and then the major markets not seeing the numbers.
They see the talent.
They see the talent.
Potential
so then we gotta look at alternative avenues, as Adrian was saying, where you gotta market the lifestyle. You drinking a coconut, going to coconut tree, drink a coconut, come down, walk straight in the water. Things that they can't do. You understand? We gotta start marketing. Yeah, brother. Just talking the amount of things I got, because we have to have a conversation. We do. But the amount of things that I've thought about as ways to put Barbados to create our niche. Kind of hard too, because they got Hawaii, which is an American state, which got the same climate, and then we always got the presentation of the people too, which is, you know what I mean? How they said darker skins attract more light, but we all know how that goes.
Right.
It seems like if we got a shadow all the time, but I said that I was asking you about how is the market. I mean, I do jiu-jitsu, so I involve.
But come down.
Yeah,
Another
years.
sport?
And here we
But,
go. I know that.
but
Come
surfing,
down,
and
woman.
surfing and jiu-jitsu go hand in hand.
Correct. Correct.
Most surfers do jiu-jitsu, so that's created a link between Hawaii and Brazil.
Nice.
And there's a big like Kyborg, which is a big statue, like a big person in Hawaii. He's the world champion in jiu-jitsu, and so it's a big thing. It's a big mix. A lot of these surfers do jiu-jitsu, but in terms
That
of
means your surfers here have to come and do karate with me then.
which would be
You know,
flexibility, man.
most of us go to the Brazilian, the BBJ, the Barbados Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, BBJ.
Okay.
But I want to know, how is the market? Are y'all faced with the same problem as us, where the numbers, because y'all do have like the CAC and y'all have that.
Yeah.
Pan American CSC.
Right. So
yeah.
no,
But it's
we-
getting there.
yeah, but since it's such an easier sport for like a parent could go to karate, drive there, sit and watch the child rolling around and learning the drills and whatever. But with surfing, a parent that can't drive, go to the sea and the child go there.
Saying, oh, yeah, squinch up for.
Yeah, they feel helpless. You know
They
what I
feel-
mean?
Well,
So,
not to say that they feel helpless too in karate, but
but my
parents
friends
are
they could
afraid
walk
too.
there and say, what's going on here?
It's
You
wake
sure
up.
he's supposed to be doing it? You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
But when
You
they're
get
out
that too.
there, there's such a they're so far. You know what I
that
mean?
too.
There's distance, there's space,
Right.
and then they got the natural element, which is unreadable.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
There's no way for you to. There's no one wave that is the same. There are two waves that are the
Understood.
same, and the elements, you're dealing with the elements. But how does the market exist in terms of numbers? Obviously not on the international, because if you put the whole Caribbean together, you probably ain't got 10, 20, probably 30, 40 million, as opposed to 7 billion.
Right.
But how does how is because sponsorship all depends on the market value of your sport.
Right.
How do you think you could work with martial arts to create a more enticing product to carry to the sponsors?
That's a good question. What can we do? I guess we have.
Are there any any people who have ascended to a worldwide standard within the martial arts? Say how we got Chelsea Trap, we got Josh Burt who won Challenger Series.
Yeah, any people
We got
there? I thinking of names.
In Barbados,
In Barbados,
with
yeah.
martial arts, the focus is on judo,
Yes.
right?
so judo does well.
Judo does extremely well, and we have really proficient players in judo, Withers and that family, you know. But I will say in Barbados, where sponsorship is determined, there are two main factors. One, likability, exposure, right? And certain clubs, when they
Yeah,
go
more
to
fans.
tournaments, you know what I mean, the exposure there and the talent within these teams, you can see, and that attracts sponsors. What sponsors do you guys have?
Right now, we're looking to get back Seven Seas. We have sponsored us before, and we're on our way to getting back that sponsorship, right? And that has allowed us to travel to several Caribbean islands so far. So hopefully,
And dominate.
Yes,
So we
Our club
dominate.
yeah,
We
the club
dominate
dominates.
any basin, any Caribbean basin. We are dominant.
yes. In
As-
Barbados itself and the Caribbean, we dominate. So
We're
the club has
feared.
dominated.
So this
Feared.
leads me to
Yeah.
another question I have for all you guys. All right, so all of y'all have traveled in some form or fashion for the sport. How would you say after coming back does affect how people look at the sport? Does it create more opportunities? Do people even notice that it happened?
Do they notice?
Yeah.
Are they there when you get back?
Yeah. No, they're not. They don't. You don't
You don't
get
get
the
rival.
they don't get the
Parades and
sprinters.
things.
Parades at the airport.
Yeah.
You don't get
Cameras.
Steve Palm playing when you come in?
Please.
But the recognition is there. I wouldn't say not, because us being such a small community on a whole, in terms of population, the word gets around. If it is noticed at the level where it should be, my concerns with that are that such a small island, 300,000 people, many sports, sponsorship is limited. So I sometimes feel like highlighting one sport takes away from another sport.
Really? Listen, man. Be
But
truthful.
I be truthful. I can be truthful, but I don't
truthful.
want call.
Man,
I don't want no. I don't want call.
Right,
Right, but I find it's like people trying to save things for
things, other things.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, okay.
So it's like I just hear South Seas. Honestly, I was like, "Yo, that's a good thing for me to try to talk to South Seas." It's not that I want to take South Seas from martial arts, but I was thinking like that's somebody that I never even thought about for ocean.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? But I find like when someone in their niche gets a sponsor, is it like, okay, I got.
You gotta keep this quiet.
Yeah, boy. So we ain't going out at the airport with a big shirt, and then other people say, "Wait, these people is sponsor."
I have never heard this opinion at all.
Let me try to talk to, and I know George's work there.
I
George's.
get what Dre's saying in terms of, like you say, there's a lot of sports and
a small
and few
there's a
sponsors.
few sponsors that can do the type of things
On
that
the
you probably
corporate
need.
level,
Right? So, coming from a marketing and sales background, professionally and thing, you see a lot of companies. I think one of the things we gotta look at is we have a lot of regional companies. A lot of companies are brands that have a lot of regional support. Like this year, I went by Courtesy the other day and I saw the bigger drink dispenser and I smile, I say, bigger from Barbados, but okay. But the reality is for skateboarders at least, there was this concept in the past of that you have to be associated with one of these core brands. So if the brand is not necessarily from a skateboard background or from a reputable or approved background, then you can't go and seek out that.
Them days gone.
That
Them
is
days
gone.
gone. That's what I'm
Because we
saying.
get to know that the same brands are not even owned by the thing anymore. They're owned by corporate.
So it's a fallacy
Oh,
thing.
yeah,
in the
so that
first
whole
place
thing
in
gone
terms-
now, yeah.
But I think in terms now of sometimes you might look for one big sponsor to hit it out the park. You got to break that down.
Yeah,
You got to
three
look
or
at
four.
three or
Sponsors.
four.
Yeah.
So, as I say, the billboard notion comes into mind. Like you can have a. You go in the airport, you have a shirt, but that shirt might have on 7 different
Sponsors.
logos on it, right? But again, you have the opportunity as the athlete to still create market.
But let me-
Create market share.
me ask you this question.
Create market is a strong
I
term.
got a question. This one kind of touchy, right? But I really need to answer. So I know we ain't calling the names right now, right? But if sponsors willing to support them and them in performing, but some of the smaller sports performing, dominating, pun the charts, making moves in unknown territory, why we keep supporting them?
I mean, I got interesting notion on sponsorship altogether. Like, as a person who has gone through, be it on both sides, being a person having to read sponsorship submission letters from different entities seeking for your company to do the sponsoring, and being the person then having to, beg, girl and beg both, and sometimes I would think companies are a little too tied to optics, a little too tied to instead of looking at what they're really investing in and what that actually does for their brand. When you associate with a product, it's not just about the sales on the shelf immediately. It's about brand awareness. It's about, my recall, my visibility. So there are a lot of things. What am I associated with in general? Like people might like me more because I do this. So there's a lot that, again, the sports can offer, even if they're not the big names that they can leverage to some of these brands to try to get them. But some of the sponsors, they say I got money for football, got money for cricket, and that's it. It's money for crop over. You hear that?
That's true. And would you say that skateboarding is? You gotta be very
Man, listen, you choosing
a
your words, man.
racially dominated sport in any way? Is there any particular race that you would say is dominant in skateboarding, and is that affected by sponsorship in any way? Do you personally think that?
Me personally, I think one of the factors is exposure. So again, in certain cultures and certain families, that exposure is more readily there. That willingness to show or to have somebody to look back at and say, "Oh, my uncle, my friend that across the street, you know, I've been exposed to it." Whereas in other communities, it ain't that. And if you bring it to that community, as you mentioned earlier, man, we get with that boy. If you use Tony Hawk,
So, so would skateboarding be considered as, because I can safely say
that's from a
that
Barbadian
surfing on
standpoint.
worldwide can be seen as a sport dominant by a certain.
Right.
Does skateboard carry that same?
I think yes. I think people do see it as dominated by that from the outside. I think when you get into it and you start to really look and you start to see competitions and you see the lineups and
who in the lineup,
who winning and who good.
What
Like,
I found
okay,
is
this is
if-
everybody.
If we using Barbados, if the sport is dominated by certain people, and the people who dominate the sport are from a certain class, that is going to affect sponsorship.
I
Because
get what you're
if
saying.
there are only 10% of people in the island that have money, and the people who are
in the sport,
in the
from that
sport
same
are from that
10%.
10%, the sponsor is not going to say, well, I know he got just as much money as me. Why are you going to give him some money to travel? So all of a sudden, then a sponsorship going on because he's telling himself, I know he got, because these people don't speak, but I know he has, I know he has. I am not going to give him for he to save his and use mine. What was this? This isn't making from a business point of view, this isn't making no sense. So that's where I find, that's why I ask him, does he think that it is a dominant
Right.
way? Because
I mean,
that would affect sponsorship. Because even me, if I think, because people don't see past people. People don't see past, don't care what talent is there, they see the person first.
right.
Yeah.
And I wear away with this thing, so nobody can tell me no. I've lived it. So we went to ISA games with 307 children in the water surfing, and a man would pilot to my son, get out of here, out of the 307 kids, because he's one of the very few that. So
He's a Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah,
in
he
his
pilot.
sport.
What are you doing here? I see my son come in, head down. So
It's rough.
crying and thinking, I was like, what's going on here? So then I was lucky enough to be in the company of some other people, and they went asking what's really going on. And he was like, well, this guy, bum. Then the guy come out, this kid's piling around, he wants to catch everything. So I know that I can't go and represent my son in this situation.
Right.
Because
good decision.
this ain't making no sense for me. I will end up the person. Not saying that I going with the intention of doing
Understood.
anything, but I'm just saying that I will always be seen in this situation as the aggressor, looking at who I'm dealing with, although it's clear as day what's going on.
When you put him in the jiu-jitsu.
Right. So, so some other guys that were part of the Barbados, they went and they dealt with the issue. Like, dude, you wrong. You shouldn't do this. They got all these kids. Why you this particular kid? Thing, but it's him and things. So we realized what was really going on. It's a profiling. And we deal with this all the time. It only eased up in the where my son stays when there was their beach boardriders clubs. So he surfed the Hermosa, which is part of Manhattan Beach where we stay, and he won the competition, beat all the pros and thing. And my son become a celebrity in the village. I ain't had the police pulling me over. Because I used to get pulled over every morning walking to the coffee shop. Excuse me, sir, are you lost? I'm going right there. So what you got? Come on.
But
You know what I mean?
culture and location, I guess, is a lot to do with that. I mean, like you say, I have traveled around a bit on my skateboard. We were fortunate to do a little competitive traveling. So we went to Central Caribbean Games, not high level games, but a good games first for us to represent Barbados in skateboarding. And when we got there, we were the only English speaking competitor. Everybody else Central American, right? So already we are I speak Spanish, but obviously I can't translate for everybody, the whole team or whatever. But so we went to the meetings and stuff. It's fine, but I found like the people who were there were super receptive of Barbados. They're like, this is your first time in this kind. Yeah. Miss how much skate parks y'all got? One. So you kidding me right now? Got one skate park.
So-
and like, okay, so you're really young in this thing. This is what's going on. Observe as much as you can. keep close to what's going on, because this is the pathway. We've been there. We were there 25 years ago, you know.
Nice. Really.
But now we got hundreds of skate parks, and we got big pros, and you know, one of the biggest pros right now out of Colombia, and we were in Colombia at that time. So the experience was more of a, you know, when we went out on our runs and stuff, people come and encourage you, you know, where you're from, where you're trying. This is both males and females, because we had male Jonathan Austin, female was Jay Nichols, and the other athletes would come up to them, and there are instances where you can tell, okay, skill wise, they are so much more experienced, so much more confident. But they come in and, hey, we think about that line, we think about that trick. We think about, you know, they don't speak English perfectly, so they're trying to piece it together and different things. But I found it to be receptive. Not a trap, I say, like in Canada, for example, where you're in the minority, clearly. But there were instances where I genuinely forgot that I was the only different person in groups. Genuinely. You know?
I'd be reminded of that. But the good thing about surfing is we are so good in terms of our level of surfing bars, because we got some of the best videos in the world.
Correct.
So our surf community is so small, and yet the percentage of high level athletes we got is amazing.
Yeah, it's true.
So people will be like, oh, we come from Barbados.
But that's the Caribbean.
Y'all hardly got people, but yet still y'all got
with high achievers.
6 people in the top 100. Like,
Barbados legacy,
you know what I
right
mean?
there.
So it sounds like we could talk for another hour and a half, right? But we gotta get ready to
We
wrap.
gotta wrap up.
Right.
But hold on, Mike.
Let me get you.
Let me ask this question of everybody, right? Olympic events. Let this be your wrap up, your final thoughts. Olympic event surfing.
Talk about the future too, the kids, the youth.
We definitely stand some good chances of whether the PASA Games, Pan American Surf. Yeah, those are our main Olympic quality, because there's very few people. For surfing, it's only 28 people, I think. Yeah, 20 people. So it's very hard to get in there. I think like 8 or 10 of them come off the world tour. And then they basically, as long as they finish the top 8, 10, they qualify, and then the other 10 spots are people have to. But we stand a really good chance because of our location. I think I don't think we fall into I'm not really 100% sure, but because of our geographical location, I think we stand a really good chance of qualifying for the Olympics. Obviously, our standard is there. We got Joshua Burke, Jacob Burke, Ocean Gittens, Tommy Listen. We got a lot of little girls, Chelsea Twat, Chelsea Roy. We got a lot of really good surfers, and I can see us qualifying. If not LA, we will probably be in 2032.
But LA would be the best.
But LA, obviously,
Big one.
for surfing, I think is a very, very possible, and I think that we are probably, other than running, and I think shooting we do really good in the Olympics. I think it's running and shooting or archery or something. I think surfing is probably one of the closer ones in terms of talent that we are to get into that level.
Talent-wise, I think.
Adrian, from you.
I think for us, yes, we have the Olympic dream, and you have to have that aspiration. But that pathway, as he was mentioning, you have people who were pre-qualified from our zone. I think nations pretty much you get 2. It depends on the sports, but you get 2 spots. But for us, it's the pathway. Our first thing is that we have to get some world ranking like Ocean. So there are events that we have to check off. The challenge is that there are few events. Sometimes most of the qualifying events for skateboarding have been in Rome and Japan.
Yeah.
Other side of the world.
And then you guys use a point system as well, right?
And you have to use a point system. But to even get into that system, you have to be world ranked first. So you go to first level of competition is for world ranking. Wherever you place in that is fine, but once you enter, you get your ranking. And then you go on, and that gives you the stepping stone to enter into other competitions. So even some of the Pan Am Games, etc., unless the opportunities will come, and Barbados will have an invitation, but unless we have, like how we have Chelsea and Josh that have the qualification, to make the cut, then they can take up the invitation. So for us, we still very much in the early stages, but that is the aspiration. And we do think there's some talented people out there, man, older and younger, that I think with the development that they can still a possibility for 2028, but if not, 2032.
So, a quick interjection. What is the youth development plan for those guys?
Right, so for those guys, right now we have our National Team Development Program, which is pretty much local competition, get people ready. But you need further exposure than that. So it's higher levels of competition. So we're looking to get into, say, South, which is closest to us, so Florida, the Carolinas, those kind of areas that have competitions. But what we're really looking out for is that world ranking one, and there's one, I think it is in Iowa. So
in
that
Iowa.
would be the
In Iowa.
in Iowa.
All right,
correct.
so call some names for me.
For the talent goals,
Yeah.
Taryn, Aline. Taryn.
Boss.
Not that is the only skate out there, but to
that's
be
the one
honest
that-
with you,
That's the one we
as far
put
as
the
skill goes,
pressure on.
because development. So I don't want to put pressure on people that because part of sport, everybody that play basketball want to go to the NBA, they'll make it in college level. Like, you know, people play this for the natural development of themselves and enjoyment, etc. And that's necessary in sport. But as far as having the talent, having the drive, being the right age, Taryn just is 16. Taryn is one of the last two summer contests, the One Movement Invitationals, and that has seen him competing against some of the best in the region. And he had and shoulders above.
The
most
other day I
people.
went to the skate park. I tell him give me a backsmith and he give me a first try. So
Yeah, like you, backsmith, you're talking nothing.
Right then. That's
Yeah,
child's
for
play.
him, I mean, it's a
Yeah.
very technical trick, but for him, it is. Yeah, he is super consistent.
Consistent, yeah.
And he has the right. He has a martial arts background, so that's probably what.
Yeah.
like
I seen
he's-
a lot of crossover.
He's a
with
very
martial
he's a
arts.
very disciplined. He has his dad that supports him. You know, Andrew could testify to the importance of that. So he has the right foundation. I think his drive is there, but again, understanding that personal branding. You know, I don't have to connect to. Yes, we do want the biggest sponsors in the world, so DGK, you know, still come true, you know. But ultimately, that he can progress and find ways to connect these dots, like to get to Rome, to get to Iowa, to get what he needs to be able to compete, and then the talent will open the other doors for him for sure.
Okay.
All right,
So
Kelly.
Kelly.
Yes. Woo.
We just found out too before we started recording this episode that
Yes.
your sport is not gonna be in the
Yeah,
2020.
unfortunately.
Fabian who brought that bad news.
Brought that
But-
Barbados to me, I didn't even know. But yes.
But yes, you
That's
tell
wild,
us
though.
though what's the roadmap you think for
Well,
your
right now, my team is building. Our team is building. As I said, we have almost over 30 kids. Yes, so I see a great future for all of them competing locally. As I said, it boils down to sponsorship and getting them out there regionally and more internationally as well.
Yeah.
Right now, I have a great set ranges from brown belts all the way down to the white belts. They're all covered doing their grappling, the cumites, and they went through a tournament last year and they, as I said, did really well.
Yes.
So I expect good things for them throughout the year. We will continue. Hopefully, sponsorship will come through. And we do CSC and Pan Am, but I think we have to qualify for four championships to go further. So not 2028, but after that, next time around, hopefully by then, the team will be bigger and stronger, and with sponsorship, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Free the
Awesome.
karate.
Right? Yes, definitely. I see it happening.
I mean, karate got to be one of the most popular sports in the world. Like, most
Yeah.
recognized.
It
you
is,
know?
but not in our region.
Right.
See, you're
Yeah.
man, that's huge.
Yeah,
You're a martial artist at one of those high levels. You sponsor for life. You know what I
Be a
mean?
Jackie Chan stunt
Yeah.
double.
Yeah,
Like around
exactly.
the world. And, yeah, are you serious?
All right.
Awesome.
Well, thank you guys for coming. It's been a great pleasure having this conversation with you guys.
Yeah, man, and thanks for having us here. I
Thank you
mean,
for
we need
having
to
me.
get the word out there. So anytime we are available, say
Yes.
availability is your
Yeah.
best ability.
The best ability.
So we available.
All right.
And that's been our day for just a conversation. We touch on 3 international sports, and we have names like Tyrone Allen, Ocean Gittens, who are on the top of their game and looking to take Barbados further. So thanks for listening to Just a Conversation. If this episode made you think, smile, or even pause for a second, don't forget to follow the show on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're tuning in. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Just search GIS Barbados. Every follow, share, or message brings more voices to the table. Until next time, keep the conversation going.